Okay, welcome to the second half of the Monica at Home broadcast for this evening. And tonight's primary topic is going to have to do with the depiction of children in niche, fetish, and mainstream porn. Because it's happening, you know, it's kind of happening under the radar, you know, different producers, studio owners, directors, they're slipping it in. They're expecting no one to notice. But it needs to be addressed because, according to Title 18, it's against the law. Now, I suppose the first thing I should do is read to you guys Title 18 of the United States Code, which governs child pornography. And if you want to check this out, all you need to do is go to www.adultweblaw.com/laws/childporn.htm. And when I edit this, I will put the URL underneath me, and of course I'll link it up on monicaathome.com as well. But let me read this to y'all. Title 18 of the United States Code governs child pornography. See Chapter 110, Sexual Exploitation and Other Abuse of Children. 18 U.S.C. 2256 defines child pornography as, quote, any visual depiction, including any photograph, film, video, picture, or computer-generated image or picture, whether made or produced by electronic, mechanical, or other means of sexually explicit conduct where, item A, the production of such visual depiction involves the use of a minor engaging in sexually explicit conduct. B, such visual depiction is or appears to be of a minor engaging in sexually explicit conduct. C, such visual depiction has been created, adapted, or modified to appear that an identifiable minor is engaging in sexually explicit conduct. Or D, such visual depiction is advertised, promoted, presented, described, or distributed in such a manner that conveys the impression that the material is or contains a visual depiction of a minor engaging in sexually explicit conduct. Again, if you want to read this, just go to www.adultweblaw.com/laws/childporn.htm. I especially want people to pay attention to items B and C. And let me read that to you guys again. B, such visual depiction is or appears to be of a minor engaging in sexually explicit conduct. And C, such visual depiction has been created, adapted, or modified to appear that an identifiable minor is engaging in sexually explicit conduct. I suppose what really prompted my thoughts on this was a recent, it was a recent adult industry news item in regards to Lupe Fuentes. For those of you who are not familiar with who Miss Lupe Fuentes is, she's an adult actress who's extraordinarily small in stature, who was recently contracted by Wicked Pictures, and who is connected with Evan Seinfeld, the guy who was married to Tara Patrick. There was recently an arrest warrant issued for her via Interpol due to her involvement with a Colombian child pornography ring. Apparently when she was with her ex-husband, she was somehow involved with this child pornography ring. So that's something that's going on with her legal-wise right now. But when I read the story, and I initially saw it on lucasback.com, it made me go back in time. I had this flashback. Not a flashback, but I really hadn't thought about this. I thought about it, but I suppose I buried my thought process on this particular situation that I witnessed while I was working as an active porn talent. back in December of 2008, that's when I was hired to work as a talent on the movie, or the two movies, Not the Cosbys XXX #1 and Not the Cosbys XXX #2. Both movies of which have won multiple awards. However, in Not the Cosbys XXX #2, the character of Rudy, unfortunately, the depiction of her is that of a child. Shouldn't have happened. Her character should not have had a sex scene. And I'm going to tell you why. The character, now the person who created this particular script for this movie, who directed this movie, who produced this movie, even though the movie was distributed by Hustler, is a director who uses the name of Will Ryder. Now, Will Ryder produced a movie called Not the Brady's XXX several years ago, and I wasn't even aware until I read his statement about this on Lucas Back, and I will link to it, that the movie was banned. I don't know if it's currently banned in Germany, but it was at one time due to the depiction of children being sexual in the movie. So I suppose he decided, the movie was never banned in America as far as I'm aware of, though. But he decided to do it again in Not the Cosbys XXX #2. Now, yes, the actress who plays the part is over 18. However, this Will Ryder prides himself on supposedly making the movie as authentic to the actual, his parodies as authentic to the actual series or television series as possible. And if that's the case, then the character of Rudy has no business having a sex scene, because the actual character of Rudy on the actual series of The Cosby Show never reached over the age of 13. Let me think who played the actual character. It was Keisha Knight Pullman in the actual show. An adult actress by the name of Nina Devon in the Cosby porn parody #2. Now, one could argue that the character of which Nina Devon played in the parody of The Cosby Show could be seen as over 18, but that's not the case. The look that was chosen for Nina Devon is the look of Rudy Huxtable from the actual show from the early 80s, which is that of a girl who would be around 8 or 9 years old. The look of the girl from the actual Cosby Show when she was 13, which was around 1992, was substantially more mature than the wardrobe and the scripted language and everything that Nina Devon was told to play. I'm going to write a long blog about this. because I'm a much better writer than I am a speaker. But I do need to point out to all of you that it is your responsibility as citizens of this country to report depictions of children in adult material. The reason that this is such a dangerous situation is because there's so much free porn distributed online nowadays, whether you go to a tube site or whether you go on a file sharing site. I actually saw an article on, I think, Adult FYI today, saying that, actually let me find it, saying that lawsuits that pornographers were trying to file against John Does who download porn was thrown out. So there's going to be a plethora of adult content always available to mature adults, but also young people. And I personally don't think that any young people out there need to watch a little girl running around with pigtails and white tights and a baby doll dress, sitting on a rocking horse in a pink bedroom, having sex, because it puts ideas in their head that don't need to be there. And also, I think it could trigger pedophilic tendencies in people who normally wouldn't have them. Because if you're going to buy Not the Cosbys XXX #2, most likely you're looking to watch a video featuring mature adults, because I sure as hell see adults on the cover, not a little girl on the cover. I think that if really that's the niche that you're trying to cater to, then you need to stick her right on the cover, and you need to label it as such, like, hey, are you into depictions of kiddie porn? Then yeah, maybe this is what you should watch. But you shouldn't say, oh, you know, I'm just trying to be authentic to the show, when you know damn well that all you're doing is trying to promote pedophilia and mainstream porn. The porn industry, in my view, does count on indoctrinating its viewers via the free porn, you know, in order to sell other products to the viewers, in order to get them essentially hooked and becoming, you know, having that pedophilic child representation or overly sexualized child implanted in your mind, especially if you're a young person just developing your you know, concept of what's normal sexually, is not healthy. Because seeing a child as sexy, that's not healthy. It's sick. I think that it could prompt predators to hurt young children. I mean, you know, if you're a parent out there, imagine that there's someone who sees that particular scene in Not the Cosbys XXX #2, and imagine that they suddenly feel that it is normal to be sexual with a little girl, so essentially a little girl wearing little tights and a little dress. You know, if I were a parent, that would scare me to death. But that's what mainstream porn is trying to push to you right now. And I can honestly say that, being that I not only worked in porn, and I not only worked on that movie, but I can just say it because I was there, and I know the mentality. So I do encourage all of you tomorrow, when I have all the links linked up, to contact some organizations that I'm going to link to in regards to this particular situation, and maybe some other situations that you out there might be aware of where you feel children are being depicted in porn. Because according to this Title 18 of the United States Code, it's against the law, and that law needs to be enforced. You know, I'm not perfect. And I know I've done many questionable things, but I'm not out there trying to put children in danger. So I suppose that's really all I have to say about that, but I felt the need to talk about that tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and end this broadcast now. But again, if you want to find links to everything that I've been referring to this evening, just visit www.monicaathome.com. And, you know, I'm really not sure what to do with some of my websites as of current, being that I'm going through the spiritual shift, and being that I've just realized that a path that I thought was right for me has been completely wrong for me. But I will keep everybody posted with what's going on with certain issues that pertain to adult entertainment, because even though it's just adult entertainment is a medium that does shape our society, and it shapes us as a people. And I think that all of us need to be a bit more responsible for our actions, especially when that medium is so readily available to young people. So thank you for joining me tonight. Hope you enjoyed the show. I'll stick around a little bit for questions, and then I'm out of here. Take care. Bye.